told your friend you're not okay? And tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away, as you fade away.
Yeah, I'm about to fade away, cause every time I wake up I feel like it's Monday. Something's going wrong with all the chemicals up in my brain. All of a sudden I don't look at anything the same way. Gotta build up of my thoughts sitting in an ashtray. I'm sorry that I'm so inconvenient, okay? Just let me be me and I'll stay out of your way. I can see the way you look at me, I'm such a disgrace. I never really asked to be brought into this place. You wanna love me? Well then baby I have a taste. All the highs and the lows, no you'll never be the same. I don't really wanna hurt you but I can't control the pain. If you're sticking by my side maybe we could be okay. Okay, maybe you could be the change I need today. I promise that I've never felt this way. I really hope that you will choose to stay through all the pain.
I know you told your friend you're not okay. And tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away, as you fade away, as you fade away, as you fade away.
Like nothing I felt, my mind overwhelms. I think that I'm broken, but I only can't help. I know I'm not perfect, but some days I feel bored or worthless. Baby, you make me feel nervous. If I still have you, I have purpose. It's all worth it.
I know you told your friend you're not okay. And tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. I guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away, as you fade away, as you fade away. What's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray.
All sports, all plays. Yeah. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making the plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays. Yeah.
This is that shit that you bump in the ride. Don't listen to lyrics, just fuck with the vibe. I can say anything you wouldn't mind. Like 10 pennies, I change up on a dime. I'm pretty diverse, got a good sense of just how much I'm worth. Just haven't been heard by that person preferred. This ought to do it, I need that referral. It's a cold world, I feel like Gucci go bird. Put on a sweatshirt like Earl. We fairly odd, our future is broad. PSG mob, ASAP, how we need all the guap. Got my dudes doing head nods. Yep. Anyone else is a deja vu of themselves. I can outdo myself on the next song. It cannot be done. You can ask my mom. I'm the prodigal son. I don't keep old flows, not one. I make a hit and run. Stack my paper like a mailman truck because it's all about the funds now. My girls just wanna have fun now. They deserve to be so uptown. We came from living on the edge. It was rough around, so we run the town. Little old me, just 100.
Welcome to Jags Nation on the All Sports All Plays Network. I am Ray Cruz. I am your host for tonight. Yes, we didn't win today. We're coming on a very windy game that was on the field today in Philadelphia. Winds were about 19 miles per hour. It's the remnants of Hurricane and the leftovers up there, rainy. Field condition was pretty good on the most part. We did commit a lot of turnovers due to some mishandling, not protecting the football in the wetness. Some key plays. We'll talk about the key plays in this game that turned this game around. To the Philadelphia Eagles, Jaguars did give a good value effort. Today they were leading at one point after the first quarter was 14-0. Then they gave up that 20 points on these turnovers. That's really the downfall for the Jacksonville Jaguars with the 5 turnovers today, one interception by Trevor Lawrence, and then the 4 fumbles that we lost. Became the downfall for Jacksonville. We had a chance at the end to try to get down there and score a touchdown to get a 2-point conversion, but we fumbled the ball after taking over on downs, and the game was over at that point. So, and I can see around people are going around in the different chat rooms with the Jaguars saying, "Oh, the same old Jaguars." This is not the same old Jaguars. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to burst people's bubble like this. Jaguars, if this was the same old Jaguars, we would have lost that game 35-3. We wouldn't even play. We wouldn't even show up. We did fight back in this ball game. We did get back into the game. We lost by 8 points. We did have some key, like I said, we had tremendous turnovers today. We didn't win. We didn't win. The time was these 3 keys right here where I was talking about. Last week I did stuff. Let me get some stuff out of the way. I wasn't on Friday due to the hurricane that situation we had here. My car was underneath a tree. A tree fell on top of my neighbor's car, which fell over top of my car also. So we had to cut that. We had to get the tree off the top of our cars. So pretty much that took most of the day to getting all that stuff taken care of through the hurricane. The Jag Nation and All Sports All Plays would like to send our prayers and thoughts out to all the victims that lost their houses and lost relatives in these tremendous winds down here in Florida, down in Fort Myers, Naples, South Florida area got hit very hard on this stuff. Some of the people are stranded if they didn't evacuate off these little islands down south. There's a road that goes out to them, and that road is completely washed away, so nobody can get back out to their house, or people that got stranded out there for a while until they get the road, until they can figure out how to get the roads rebuilt. There's a lot of cleanup things that there, so that's pretty much what's going on here. So, the All Sports, All Place, and Jag Nation, we want to give out, send our prayers to all the hurricane victims in Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, up in Philadelphia here with the remnants and all that stuff, all the past of it. So, I just want to take care of that real quick and get that out of the way to all the victims and stuff. So we didn't lose. We lost power on early Thursday morning at 2:30 in the morning. It came back on at 5:30. We didn't lose no more power the rest of the day. Me and my wife and kids went out to a restaurant to eat on Thursday. We came back about 1:30, somewhere between 1:30 and 5:30 in the afternoon. My son's friend sent him a picture of the tree on top of our cars. I didn't believe it at first, but when I did and checked it, it was. So I had to take care of all that on Friday. So that's why Jag Nation didn't come on. That's why I couldn't give you the quick breakdown. But the same breakdown that was before is these key factors that I always want to talk about right here. As win third down efficiency, red zone penalties, turnovers, and win time of possession. We didn't win nothing today. We didn't win these today. These are the ones that we didn't win. Definitely didn't win the turnover battle. We gave up 5 turnovers. I understand people are going after Trevor Lawrence with this, but the one fumble on 4th and 3 that turned the ball, that play really turned the ball game around. The first one was the misplay out to Agnew, the double move. The ball was overthrown, but got to understand when you get the ball up in the wind could carry the ball too, and that's what it was. Where it was going with the wind on that one, so the ball carried a little bit too further out than what it anticipated was. So that would have put them down 21-0. Would put us up at 21-0 against Philly, but that didn't work out. So it became 4th and 3. Trevor Lawrence tried to roll out. When he was rolling out, the ball slipped out of his hand. He was carrying it loosely. He wasn't securing the ball correctly. Then the one fumble that the center exchange fiasco turned that ball quickly over. And then the one that the offensive line that Trevor Lawrence probably held the ball a little bit too long, but the offensive line let their pass rusher get in there and knock the ball away on that last play, getting the 4 turnovers. So on fumbles. So that's the tale of the story. It was the second quarter. Pretty much it was even throughout. We won the first quarter. We lost the second quarter. Nobody scored in the third quarter, and it was 9. Philadelphia scored 9 in the fourth quarter. We scored 7. The final score was 29-21. We lost by 8 points. Like I said, we had a chance. We stopped them on the 4th and 3. We got the ball back, and then Trevor Lawrence fumbled the ball because the pass rush was coming in on the right side. Came in off of Taylor. Rutherford knocked Taylor into things where he can get his hand and knock the ball out. He was not really. I think he held the ball a little bit too longer on that. So that's the problem right here. So, if you look at it, Jaguars are still learning how to win. They're going from a Urban Meyer stop fiasco and stuff like that. This is a totally, completely different team. We got to get our fans out of it. We got to get our heads out of saying this is the same old Jaguars. This is not the same old Jaguars, because we wouldn't have been in the game if it was the same old Jaguars. We wouldn't be in games like that. We wouldn't be in these ball games to where you're looking at no showing heart. We got down. They could have folded, but they fight back. They got the touchdown back in the fourth quarter. We got it within 8. We stopped them on the 4th and 3, got the ball back, but we fumbled the ball. The situation with rain and all this stuff, yes, Trevor Lawrence don't wear gloves. Some people are not comfortable wearing gloves as a quarterback. And he came out and said he's not comfortable wearing gloves. So what are you going to do? Make him put gloves on that he hasn't practiced with or nothing like that? So some people don't like that. Some people like the old-fashioned quarterback where you don't need gloves. So you can't really put that on. You got to put on him as he's young. He's still learning. He's still got to learn how to protect the ball. He's still got some stuff that he needs to take care of. And it's only his second year, and people are just trying to throw him on, get rid of him and stuff like that. I mean, you got to really think about it too. You're not playing quarterback. You might criticize him and stuff like that, but you're not playing the quarterback. You're not playing in the NFL. Have you played in the NFL before? Quarterback and stuff like that, and everybody, and like I said, you got a young team. This is a real young team, and they're still learning. They're still learning how to win. They're still learning the culture. They're learning the winning culture. And this is a stepping stone. This is what they need to learn. And this is stuff that the coaches now can get back on them and say, hey, look, you lost your focus in this ball game. We got to get the focus back because we got Houston next week. So I mean, if you look at that perspective here, this week, next week, I forgot. We play Philadelphia. We've the 9th of October at 1 p.m. Eastern time. Houston Texans come here in Jacksonville. We got to get home. We got to get back. We got to win at home. And like I said, when you want to look at your games here, you need to win all your home games. If you win all your home games, you take care of at least 8 games, 8 games at home. You got to steal a couple on the road. We stole one on the road. We beat the Chargers. So that's one win we stole on the road. We were in this ball game today. We were up in this ball game. And then key plays and turnovers downrated the thing. And you got to understand, dude, Philadelphia switched their game plan. They adjusted their thing to where to run the ball. We didn't stop the run. We did not stop their run at all. I mean, if you look at it here, they had over 200 yards rushing against us. 200 yards rushing. If you look at it, they had total of 77 plays. We had 46 plays. 401 total yards for Philly. 219. And since I didn't come on Friday, I couldn't give you my key. Jalen Hurts with his legs is a double trouble for teams, and it's double trouble for the Jaguars today. They ran the ball effectively. They ran the ball where they needed to. The Wins predicting that stuff that we couldn't get off the field. Our defense couldn't get off the field. Couldn't stop some of the drives. Couldn't stop some of the bleeding, to hold them to field goals. Or they went for it, got down within 4th and 1, 4th and 2, and then he picked it up with Jalen Hurts with his legs, or with running out, roll, and passing. I mean, that's the keys right there for us that we could have stopped in this, and we didn't stop. We didn't stop on David. I mean, this is a team loss. I mean, you can blame it all on Trevor Lawrence with the fumbles and stuff like that, but the defense would have had to come out and kind of stop them, but they didn't. They gave up running yards. They had a 210 yards rushing against us. 210. We held people in the first 3 weeks under 100 yards rushing. They got out 210. And you got to think too. And if you listen to some of these comments, I'm about to read out here to you. The head coach, some of the players saying, hey, they had a bigger offensive line, which they were. They were big. And they blocked tremendously against us. We couldn't get nothing going. Kelsey's brother, center, great center, pushed the line, pushed everything. They were working us to the tail ball. We couldn't reestablish that off. We couldn't reset the line of scrimmage. They set the line of scrimmage on our defense. Our defense couldn't get no pressure, no push in there. And if you look at it too here, out of the 210 yards rushing, they rushed the ball 50 times. We rushed the ball 19 times. They had 4.2 yards per carry. We had 3.7 per carry. And I was telling you about the red zone, I mean, they were 4 for 6 in the red zone. We were 2 and 3 from the red zone. We didn't win the penalties. We had 4 penalties for 38 yards. They had 3 penalties and 20 yards. We had 5 turnovers to their 1. That 1 was a pick 6. So we got 6 points. So we got 6 points off the turnovers, basically 7. They got 20 points off our turnovers. That was the difference of this ball game. We have to learn a way. We have to learn a way not to turn the ball over like we did the last 2 weeks. We did not turn the ball over the last 2 weeks on offense. Our defense played better last 2 weeks than they did today. And we knew they were going to run, but what they were doing is they lined up in different formation, and their splits were different every time they lined up. That was some of the players were saying that you couldn't key on what hole they were going in because their splits, their offensive line splits were different every single time, and which is good because you couldn't. That's good on their part, but bad on our recognition part on the defense. Our coaches should have came up at halftime and say, "Hey, look, these splits they're doing. We have to counteract these splits. We have to get into the splits. We have to get into the hole. We have to get into the void." We didn't get into the void in this ball game. And that's the problem. We didn't. They set the line of scrimmage on us. Our defense did not set the line of scrimmage. Their defense set the line of scrimmage on our offense. I mean, they were back there pressing Trevor Lawrence all game long. And that's what happens when Trevor Lawrence gets pressure, because we're at a point now in the season where we're winning. But now you go on the road, you had adversity. You lost a fumble. You turned the ball over. They got the lead. But if you're looking at some of the people saying this is the same old Jaguars, this is not the same old Jaguars. Because if the same old Jaguars, when they got that turnover and when they got the lead, they could have folded. They didn't fold. They battled back and got it within 8 points. The defense didn't give up that 4th and 3. They stopped them to get the ball back to the offense. The offense let them down because the fumble on the pressure by Rutherford right over Taylor pushed him right back in there where Rutherford could get his hand on the ball. And I mean, if you look at it, Trevor Lawrence he didn't feel the pressure at all. Because if he felt the pressure, he probably would have took off or at least protect the ball and save it for another down. So, I mean, if you look at these mistakes are shown by a young quarterback. These mistakes by young players. People want to hold these young players coming in because the day of an age of football and way these players have come in, I'm ready to go right out of the thing. Trevor Lawrence is the future of the Jacksonville Jaguars. He is the future quarterback. He is learning. He has done stuff on the offseason. Doug Peterson come in and say, "Hey, we're going to shorten your mechanics." He shortened mechanics, got it quicker. Today it was just a lack of judgment on his part because of I think it was more like he got shell shocked with the wind conditions and the weather and the balls being slick and wet. I mean, you got to understand these NFL footballs are slick. When the rain and water gets on them, they don't dry them off. They don't do too much stuff like that for them. They try to keep it dry as much as possible. But over time, you have mistakes in these kind of weather games. And this is a learning curve. This is a learning experience for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Each game is not going to be perfect. Each game is not going to be where you want it to be. Everybody wants a team to go undefeated. This is a long season to go. We're going into week 5. Week 5 coming up. Coming back home. Been on the road for 2 weeks. They're 1-0 at home. They are 1-2 on the road. But you got to look at it too. The other team in our divisions lost, except for Tennessee. Tennessee beat the Colts. So we're still got the lead. We're still tied in the AFC South at 2-2. We're still tied. If we have a tiebreaker right now because we haven't lost a divisional game. 1-0 in the division, but we're 2-2. We're still tied. And if we look at it like we were, if you want to say this is the same old Jaguars, we have one more win than we had last year. But at this time of last year, we were already in the cellar of the division. We're still in first place, tied in first place in this division. We got Houston coming up, who's been playing okay football, but not really good football. They're going to have a dose of Pierce. Houston's probably going to be a run. They're going to try to do the same game plan. They'll do the same game plan as Philly, but the climate could be a little bit different. Not windy, not rainy. So I mean, you take you take the loss. Fine, you're on the road. You want to take care of your home field, and that's what the Jacksonville Jaguars needs to do against Houston. Coming up this weekend, we need to protect our home field. We can win all our home games and still 2 or 3 road games. You're looking at double-figure wins. That's what we need to do. We need to grow up, and we got to grow up during the season. Right now, people had us picked dead last in our division. Right now, we're tied for our division. So you got to take the grains with the salt. You got to take the wounds, lick your wounds, move on. The fans got to realize this is still a young team, a young defense, a learning offense. Coming from a culture of losing that we have lost since 2018 on, we have lost. Doug Peterson has come in. He has established himself. Teams are now listening to him. As he won the team over. He's got the team over. Now he needs to correlate the winning culture. That's what the Jacksonville Jaguars need to do. And this is a stepping stone. Now we need to face the adversity that we had today. We lost. Now we need to come back and win football games. If we come back and win football games, when we lose, and we come home and we win, that's a step of a learning curve. That's a step that we need to take. That's a step that the Jacksonville Jaguars do. I mean, look. Both teams had a total, and Philly had 12 drives. We had 11 drives. We had 4.8 per play. They had 5.2 per play. We had 148 yard passes at 11:23 to 16:25 to 191 for Philly. They passed for 7.1 yards. We passed for 5.5. Both teams threw an interception. Philly sacked that quarter. Trevor Lawrence got sacked 4 times. We sacked Jalen Hurts twice. We had 71 yards rushing on 19 rushing attempts. They had 210 on 50 rushing attempts. You cannot win ball games like this. We were 2 for 3. We're 2 for 3 in the red zone. They were 4 for 6. We had 4 penalties for 38 yards. They had 3 penalties for 20 yards. We had 5 turnovers, 4 fumble losses, and 1 interception. He had 1 interception for a pick 6. They held the ball. Time of possession was 39 minutes and 51 seconds for Philly to 20 minutes and 9 seconds. For us, we can't win games like that. We have to win games when we win the time of possession. If we have the ball over 30 minutes, we can win ball games. That's how we win. That's how we won the last 2 weeks. We won these. We won the third down efficiency, the red zone, the penalties, turnovers, and possessions. We didn't do that today. That's why I put these up every week. Every time I'm on the show, we have to focus on. If we win these categories, we win football games. And it showed the last 2 weeks. It didn't show today because we didn't win anything today. I kind of knew this when we're going into Philly. Philly has been playing great football. You got to give it hands out. You got to give it hands down to Philly. Philly's a physical team. We found out how physical they were. They leaned on us on both sides of the ball. The offensive line got tore up. Defensive line got tore up by the Phillies offensive line. They won the line of scrimmage. But everything came down to that 4th and 3 play. If he would have decided to go ahead and not go for it and punt the ball, we don't know what kind of effect that it could have had. But when teams get a turnover, establish them in good field position. Now your defense is saying, okay, the offense turn the ball, let's go ahead and try to stop them. But then they get blown off the ball. Jalen Hurts with his leg hurt us today. If you really want to know if he really did hurt us today on the rushing, Jalen Hurts had carried the thing 16 times for 38 yards and 1 touchdown. Sanders killed us. 27 carries for 134 yards. 2 touchdowns. 35-yard was his longest. Clark caught the ball twice for 60 yards. But he had a couple drops. Pass was good. Right to him, he dropped him. The one that it was picked off when Bradbury came and jumped him. He should have came back towards the ball. The ball was underthrown. If he would have worked his way, if he would have came back to the ball instead of trying to wait till the ball to come to him, he could have either got a pass interference called on Bradbury, or Bradbury couldn't intercept because he was being right there in front of him. So, I mean, if you really want to look at this situation right now, I mean, Agnew came through. He had four receptions, 50 yards, 24 was long. He was targeted 6 times. But Say Jones, with his absence, really affect the offense today, too. The next man didn't step up. Ingram had 1 catch for 16 yards. Marvin Jones didn't catch the ball at all. ETN didn't catch the ball at all. Robinson fumbled once, didn't lose it. Trevor Lawrence lost all of his 4 fumbles. I mean, if you look at Ogakuna, he had 16 total tackles, 12 solo. Lloyd had 14 total tackles, 4 solo. Allen had 1 sack. Cisco with the interception return for a touchdown. I mean, we really, Cook punted 3 times for 160 yards. But if you want to look at the numbers, I mean, the numbers are right there. I mean, Lawrence's QBR was 12.9, but Jalen Hurts was 26.2. I mean, you got to look at the situation. You got to look here at the overview of this stuff. And, if you look at some of the plays, interception. We punted the ball. Touchdowns. Turnover on downs. Philly. We fumbled the ball. Touchdown. We punt the ball. Touchdown. We fumbled the ball. Touchdown. End of the half. We punt, interception, field goal, fumble, touchdown, turnover on downs. We turned Philly on downs. Fumble the ball. 1 play, got sacked. 6 seconds. We only had that ball. That was the end of the game. If you look at the effectiveness of our thing, we played bad football. We turned it over. Turnovers killed us in this ball game because they scored points off our turnovers. If you look at it that way, we're going to go ahead and take a commercial break. We'll be right back, and when we come back, we'll look at some of the quotes and 5 key plays of this football game. Jags lose 29-21 to Philly today. We'll be back on Jags Nations. Right after this, I am Ray. We on the All Sports All Place Network.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making up plays. We talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. Network. We on top of our game. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.
What did you say?
I said Kobe Bean Bryant has been overrated ever since he passed away.
Now, I'd say they could lose about 4, but I don't see them losing 5. You know what I mean?
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.
This is the Fox D Streaming Network. Register to come on our channel at foxdnetwork.com.
Welcome back to Jags Nation on the All Sports All Place Network. We can go ahead. You want to support us, you can send us some stars. Stars will help us earn money to make more content. If you like the All Sports All Place Network, please send us some stars. That's the way we can build some more contents and get more graphics built and make more better broadcasting and make it more professional. Once again, support us by sending some stars. Stars will make us earn money to make more content just like this. If you like the All Sports All Place Network, please help us out by sending some stars here on the Facebook page. I just want to send that out to you too. So that information there. Like I said, we're going to get into some of this stuff here from Jenkins, the cornerback for the Jacksonville Jaguars. He said, "This is the National Football League. This is a part of what we do. This was a tough loss, but we're grown men. We take it on the chin and move on. We like to look at the season in quarters. That was an okay quarter for us. Starting the season 2-2, we would like to improve from 2-2 to 2 undefeated in a quarter, or knock it down to 1 game. That would help propel us to what we are trying to do." That's all from Jenkins there. Also, Trevor Lawrence said, "We have a lot of competitors and the guys that don't quit. Everyone believes that the whole game. For our defense, I'm sure it's frustrating for them when offensively you turn the ball over and that many times. They just keeps going back out there, and they had a lot of big stops. Defensively, we played good enough to win the game, so that's why it is disappointing that we let those guys down," which is true. I mean, we had a lot of plays that we could have, we did make them punt the ball. So we did have some chances to win this game defensively. Our defense didn't play too bad, but they did give up 210 yards rushing, which is, knowing that they're going to have to run the ball because of the way the conditions are going, and they just couldn't effectively get enough stops on the day of these turnovers. So they scored on 20 points in that second quarter. It's really that's really the quarter that really beat us in this football game. Like I said, it's a few things that could have happened. If we could have hit that big bomb play on the first down play, they went to Agnew. Ball was overthrown. I missed the opportunity, missed scoring opportunity. Could have gone 21-0 right there. We wouldn't know if that could have set some stuff into Philly too if we were up 21-0. But on the comeback go down. We made some incomplete passes, or we didn't get to pick up the first down. We fumbled the ball on the fourth down play. I mean, he rolled out. It looked like he had a wide open guy on the flat right there. He could have thrown the ball. I think that's where he was trying to load up to, or he was moving on the run. But the ball slipped out of his hand because it was wet. He didn't ball security. Ball security. He has to figure out ball security. So what I like to see what the Jaguars should do with Trevor Lawrence is go back to elementary day of football. Give him a football. Let him walk around the complex. Have people try to beat the ball out of his arms. You know, get his mind repetition. Ball security. Ball security. And that's what he's got to learn. He's got to learn the time in his head. He holds the ball just a little bit too long. And that's what happened in certain areas. If he would have rolled out of there, but like I said, that first fumble, ball was wet. He had it with one hand, not ball security. I think he was getting ready to load it up and hit the guy in the flat. It would have been a key, kept the drive going. So if you miss plays like that, and some of them plays, it will come back and haunt you. And that's what it did for the Jaguars today. It came back and haunt us. He continued on to say that we're going to learn from it. We're going to get better, and I know that this is a really good football team that we have here. We just going to put it together in the next week. Hopefully, that is true. Hopefully, he'll learn from this. He's a very bright young man. He's still kind of green around in the NFL. I mean, game's a little bit fast, but I mean, slower. You can see some of his development starting to slow it down to where he can get a grasp on the area that he needs to be grasped on here. Like I said, there were some key plays in this ball game. There were five keys. One was the pick six that the Jaguars got. Jaguars needed a big play Sunday to build momentum in a tough environment. They got it when safety Andre Cisco gave them an early lead. The Eagles picked up a first down with on a fourth down sneak by the quarterback Jalen Hurts early on in their first possession, but Hurts threw a downfield pass in the second and 7 from the Eagles 36. The pass to wide receiver Zach Pascal was deflected by corner Darius Williams, and Cisco called it and carried on at the Jags 41. Then weaved down the field, the sidelines for 59 yards for a 7-0 lead at 11:15 mark. That was one big play for the Jaguars. It is good to be good and good to be lucky too. The Jaguars play as well throughout the first quarter. Got a couple of good bounce too. The first came when the deflection early passes. That's one thing. The momentum changed fast in the NFL, as the case for the Jaguars on Sunday. That they were 14-0. Had a dominant game when Lawrence barely missed Agnew's deep pass would have been a 41-yard touchdown. Those are obvious plays. Jaguar head coach Doug Peterson said we have to convert. We have to make those. When you have guys open like that, just do the best we can to execute those plays. Lawrence went on and said, I had a little bit of pressure, so I had to get rid of it out a little bit quicker than I wanted to. With the elements the way they were, I really didn't want to hang the ball up too much and give the safety a chance to get it. So I tried to put it in somewhere where only he could catch it, and I overthrew just a little bit, which he did. I mean, you got to understand, then Lawrence, the other key play was the 4th and 3. When Lawrence fumbled the ball 3 plays later, scrambled when the ball slipped out of his hand, and the Eagles immediately drove 57 yards for the touchdown. Was 14-7. Again, the fumbles. The turnover really hurt us in this ball game. But if you look at those key plays, I mean, that's what happens in NFL. NFL changed the momentum. Momentum changed fast. We couldn't get it back. We got it back into that fourth quarter. We scored a touchdown. They got 4th and 3. Had them turn over downs. Then we fumbled the ball when the pressure got to Lawrence on the offensive line. So this is a team debacle today. Lawrence had the key turnovers. He admitted that, which is good to show that he's maturity and admit to stuff like this. So if you want this has got to be the things here. That's something that the Jaguars need to learn and learn fast. I'm not going to keep you here all night because I do have to be up early in the morning for my job. So, I just want to get on here for a few minutes, tell you what the key plays that were in this thing. So Jag Nation, once again, will be on Friday. Friday from 7 until 8 o'clock. From 7 to 8. That way we can break it down. We'll break the Houston game down here at TIA Bank Field next week. Then at 9:30 on Sunday, 9:30 on Sunday will be the post-game reaction show from the Jaguars game at the 1 o'clock kickoff time on the 9th of October. I'll be bringing the Jag Nation reaction show back. I'll be at the game. I'm going to try to see if people will stop walking in front of me. I'll try to get some film on some of the games so I can bring some highlights back from the game here when we play it on the Jags Nation telecast. So once again, Jaguars lose 29-21. A hard-fought battle game, 5 turnovers. I seem like a lot, but as a fan, we have to learn. We have to learn with the team. The team is learning. The team is 2-2. We're in first in division. We're tied with the Titans. Colts are a game behind. Houston's 2 games behind, I think. Yeah, 2 games behind. So we're not in last place in our division. We're tied for first. So we need to move on. We need to carry on. We need to continue to winning ways at home. And what we get Houston coming up next. So this has been a great show. On a little bit of down note, I wish this could have been a victory show like we had the last 2 weeks. But, cookies crumble. You got to move on. You got to learn from this mistakes. Take it to the next game. Come out with victory. I have been Ray Cruz. This has been Jag Nation on the All Sports All Place Network. Have a good night, and I'll see y'all on Friday at 7 o'clock.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we're making up plays. We're talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the diamond in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.